Hello, good morning. So, we'll continue our discussion on the subject assessment of student learning 1. Okay, so our topic for today is all about item analysis. Okay, so item analysis is very important as part of the teacher's responsibility to ensure the proper making of an exam. Okay, so let's start our discussion regarding item analysis. Okay, so when we say item analysis, it refers to the process of examining the student's response to each item in the test. So there are two characteristics of an item. These are desirable and undesirable characteristics. So when we say desirable characteristics, items can be retained for subsequent use. Meaning, pwede mo uling gamitin yung item na ginawa mo. The next one is undesirable characteristics. Items that can be revised or rejected. Okay? So, therefore, we have the desirability and undesirability of an item is determined by three important criteria. So, these are difficulty of an item, discriminating power, and measures of attractiveness. Okay? So, let's start first the difficulty index. When we say difficulty index, it refers to the proportion of the number of students in the upper and lower group who answered an item correctly. So, do you remember when in your elementary days na pinatataas teacher, sino ang tama sa number 1? Sino ang tama sa number 2? So, that is one way of finding the proportion of students who answered an item correctly. Okay? So, again, when we say difficulty index, ito yung formula. This will be the formula that you're going to use. Difficulty index equals P sub U plus P sub L all over 2. Again, P sub U plus P sub L all over 2. When we say DF, that is index of difficulty. And then when we say P sub U, that is the proportion of students in the upper group who answered the item correctly. And when we say PU, that is the proportion of students in the lower group who answered the item correctly. So again, when we have to find the difficulty index, that will be P sub U plus P sub L all over 2. Okay? Now, next will be your index of difficulty of an item. Okay, so upon computation of the difficulty index, now you have the table for the index of difficulty of an item. So, when you compute the difficulty index, there is a corresponding difficulty level on the index range that you computed. Okay? For example, so when your index range is from 0.0 to 0.20, difficulty level is very difficult. From 0.21 to 0.40, that is difficult. From 0.41 to 0.60, that is optimum difficulty or moderate difficulty. From 0.61 to 0.80, that is equivalent to easy. And then from 0.81 to 1.0, that is equivalent to very easy. Okay, so that is the difficulty level of an item. Just remember this. When the difficulty level is very difficult and very easy, you will reject the item. Again, when it is very difficult and very easy, you will reject the item. Okay? Next, we have the discrimination index. So when we say discrimination index, it refers to the proportion of the students in the upper group who got an item right minus the proportion of the students in the lower group who got an item right. So later on, aalamin natin paano ba pagkuha ng upper group and paano ba pagkuha ng lower group. Okay? So, just like the difficulty index, meron din tayong table for discrimination index. But before that, this is the formula for discrimination index. Okay? So you have DX equals PU or P sub U minus P sub L. Again, difficulty index equals P sub U minus P sub L. Okay, so when we say DX or D sub S, that is index of discrimination. And then when we say PU, proportion of students in the upper group who answered the item correctly. And then when we say P sub L, that is the proportion of students in the lower group who answered the item correctly. Again, to find the discrimination index, this is the formula. ds is equal to pu or p sub u minus p sub l. You just subtract. Okay? So, just like the difficulty index, we have the table for the index of discrimination of an item. Okay? So, you have the index range and the discrimination level. So, when your computation is below 0.10, so when we say below 0.10, included yung mga negative numbers. So, below 0.10, the discrimination level is questionable item. When it is from 0.11 to 0.20, that is equivalent to not discriminating. When we say 0.21 to 0.30 or 0.30, that is equivalent to moderately discriminating. And then from 0.31 to 0.40, that is discriminating. And from 0.41 to 1.0, that is very discriminating. So just like the difficulty level of an item, when the discrimination level is questionable or very discriminating, automatic your item should be rejected. Again, questionable and very discriminating, automatic your item will be rejected. Okay? So that is for index of discrimination of an item. Now, with respect to measures of attractiveness, to measure the attractiveness of the incorrect option in multiple choice test, we count the number of students who selected the incorrect options in both the upper and lower group. The incorrect option should attract less of the upper group than the lower group. So, the further explanation of this measure of attractiveness is to be discussed on the part 2 of this video presentation. Okay? So, upon the computation of difficulty index and discrimination index, this evaluation code for analysis of an item is very useful in your item analysis. Again, we have three options with respect to your item. First, you can reject the item, you can revise the item, and you can retain the item. And this evaluation code is very useful. Okay? So, what will be the evaluation code? For example, your difficulty level is very difficult and your discrimination level is questionable. So, yung katapat niya na item category is very full. So, what will be your basis or what will be your remark? Then, you will reject your item. Okay? Tapat-tapat lang. That is the evaluation code for an analysis of an item. For example, again, your difficulty level is difficult and your discrimination level is discriminating. Okay, ha? Difficult, then discriminating, yung katapat niya na item category is good. So, therefore, what will be your remark? Your remark will be retained. So, your item will be retained. Okay? So, this evaluation code is very useful. Okay, on the part 2 of this video presentation, we will have the actual item analysis. So, for the meantime, this evaluation is very useful on your analysis of an item. Another one, when your difficulty level is very easy and the discrimination power is questionable, so the item category is very poor, and what will you do to your item? That will be rejected. Okay, so again, this evaluation code for analysis of an item is very important. Okay? Okay, so that will be the end of the part 1 of the assessment of student learning 1. Assessment of student learning 1. Later on, we'll be having your part 2, the actual presentation of analysis of an item. Okay, so thank you and keep safe everyone. Thank you.